American actress, singer, and dancer Joey Heatherton is known for making frequent television appearances during the 1960s and 70s. The actress enjoyed appearing on variety shows, but she took up acting roles in films as well. Her most notable films and appearances were in My Blood Runs Cold, her decade-long performance on the USO tour led by Bob Hope, and the 1977 film called The Happy Hooker Goes to Washington. Her childhood years in entertainment. Joey Heatherton was born Devini Joanna Heatherton on September 14, 1944 in the city of New York, and spent most of her childhood in Rockville Center, which is a town located close to Manhattan. She got her nickname ever since she was a child, as people had a rough time pronouncing her first name, Devini, and preferred to call her by her middle name. Joey was raised in a family involved in entertainment. Her father was Broadway star Ray Heatherton, who was a television pioneer and had gained recognition throughout New York City as the lead character of a children's show called The Merry Mailman. On the other hand, Joey's mother was a professional dancer. Her parents met when they were working together in Babes in Arms. Ever since Joey was young, she was raised with acting, singing, and dancing everywhere she went. As she got older, Joey got an education at the St. Agnes Academy Catholic School. At an early age, she mostly showed an interest in dance, so her parents decided to send her to Dixon and McPhee's School of Dance, where young Joey started studying ballet. After 4 years of ballet, she went on to study dramatics, voice, and modern jazz dance. Joey's early career. Joey started her career at quite a young age and appeared on her father's TV show as a child actress. This was her first professional debut. By the time she was 15, Joey became a member of an understudy and the assembly of the original 1959 Broadway production called The Sound of Music. For this performance, she received her very first national recognition and would start making appearances on The Perry Como Show. At the show, Joey appeared as an energetic teenager that had fallen in love with Perry Como. In the same year, Joey tried to make it big in music by releasing her very first single titled That's How It Goes. However, the single turned out to be a flop. Even though she kept trying with 3 other singles released in the early 60s, Joey would not have success with them. In the 1960s, Joey made a return in Broadway where she appeared opposite Jane Fonda in a short-lived play called There Was a Little Girl. At the same time, Joey Heatherton managed to appear in her first TV series, where she took on the role of a wealthy, dramatic, spoiled teenager in Route 66. Ever since then, Joey continued to be cast as a rebellious teenager. Her career during the 1960s. In 1965, Joey began to gain recognition for provocative dancing on American TV. This was frowned upon, and she got a lot of criticism that claimed she was just a sleazy, erotic dancer and nothing else. The entertainer didn't think much of this and continued to appear in popular TV shows such as The Tonight Show. Meanwhile, she was also training Johnny Carson on how to dance the frog dance. She received a lot of attention when she made a guest appearance in an episode of the teenage dance show called Hullabaloo, released in 1965. Her appearance on the show was outstanding, and she got featured a couple more times on Hullabaloo. Joey then gave it another try at singing by releasing a song called Hullabaloo, which she also performed in an episode of the show. The song went well, and Joey later received an invitation by Dean Martin to appear on the episode premiere of The Dean Martin Show, which aired September 16, 1965. Joey also appeared as a mystery guest alongside Dorothy Kilgallen in the 1965 show called What's My Line. Joey then collaborated with Frank Sinatra Jr. throughout the entire summer of 1968. During this time, she hosted an episode of Dean Martin Presents The Gold Diggers, which was an hour-long summer substitute musical comedy. Joey also made a couple of small appearances on other popular shows of the 60s, such as The Hollywood Palace, The Andy Williams Show, This Is Tom Jones, and The Ed Sullivan Show. At this time, Joey had gained national fame throughout all of America as a showgirl. One of the longest collaborations she ever did was the one with Bob Hope in more than a decade-long USO tour. Here, Joey was part of an entertaining group where she danced and sang all over America with provocative outfits. Throughout the late 60s, Joey decided to invest more of her time in the film industry by releasing a set of TV series such as I Spy, Mr. Novak, The Nurses, It Takes a Thief, and The Virginian. Joey also appeared in hit films such as the 1963 movie called Twilight of Honor, My Blood Runs Cold, and Love Has Gone. In her very first film, she acted as the partner of a person being accused of murder. The role was played by Nick Adams, which later got an Oscar nomination for the role. The 1964 film Where Love Has Gone was one of the first American films to appear in color. This film was also highly budgeted and based on one of the most famous melodrama romans written by Harold Robbins. The film, which talked about the infamous manslaughter case of Lana Turner, Cheryl Crane, Johnny Stompanato, was a huge hit of the time and gave Joey a lot of recognition as a film actress. In the film, Joey played Turner's daughter. On the other hand, she played her first ever lead role alongside Troy Donahue in My Blood Runs Cold. Her career in the 70s. The peak of Joey's career came in the mid-70s when she made headlines at a Sunday night series for Cher called Joey and Dad. Here, Joey performed along with her father, Ray Heatherton. The show was mostly focused on Joey's father's life and her daughter. In 1977, she went off to star in The Happy Hooker Goes to Washington, where she portrayed Xaviera Hollander. From that point on, Joey started appearing less on screen. Her most memorable role in the 90s was in Crybaby. As her image was starting to fade out, Joey decided to gain some attention by appearing naked in Playboy magazine. Joey's personal life. When it came to her relationships, Joey married a Dallas Cowboys wide receiver named Lance Rensel in 1969. Her husband got arrested 1 year after the marriage for molesting a child. He then was given a suspended sentence only if he underwent psychiatric treatment. During this time, she filed for divorce, claiming that her ex-husband was mentally sick and would never recover. Since then, Joey has been arrested on multiple occasions in the 1980s. Her first arrest was when she refused to pay a hotel bill but pled not guilty. She then got arrested a second time for beating up a clerk in a passport agency office. 1 year later, she was arrested again after assaulting a police officer. She tried to deny these claims by saying that the police harassed her first, but was later found guilty after she was charged with drug possession. Since then, she completely faded from the limelight once and for all. Did you enjoy this video? Well, check out the next one in this series.